Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Parham Podcast. You can follow me on Spotify by typing in Mark Parham Podcast, and I should pop up. I'll pop up there on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. So, I've seen this whole thing online with Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, like this whole back and forth. And I think a lot of Trump supporters or a lot of MAGA supporters forget that Marjorie Taylor Greene helped build the MAGA movement. People don't want to give her credit, but she was one of the people out there with the hat. And she was somebody who always, said nice things about Donald Trump and MAGA supporters. She campaigned for Donald Trump. She was one of the early people that were on the quote-unquote Trump train, as they say. And, to see online how people who are Donald Trump supporters have switched on her because Donald Trump, has put out some Truth Social posts and stuff like that. It's like, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's almost like people are in a cult where, Donald Trump says that this person's not good or this person's fake. Then all of a sudden they believe everything he says. And that's not right, in my opinion. That makes somebody almost like a zombie. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the main people in the beginning that was out front on, legacy media, television stations and everything, taking criticism, all sorts of stuff. And she was MAGA through and through. And, for a lot of Republicans and Trump supporters to turn their back on her, it's insane. All for basically, they don't like her asking questions. It's gotten to the point where, anyone who questions Donald Trump is thought of as an enemy now. And I think that's backward. It's like, the only way to get politicians to do the correct thing in America, sometimes you have to criticize and basically wake them up and let them know, you know what, we know you're lying and we might support you, but you have to change course. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's somebody that wants the president to do very well. Like, no one can say that she's a Democrat, even though online they say she's a closet Democrat and all this other mess and these terms they come up with. Like, no, she's never somebody that would have voted for Kamala Harris. But at the same time, it's just like, for a president to be so sensitive that he can't take some criticism from one of his supporters, that's insane to me. And maybe if the president listened to Marjorie Taylor Greene and people like that, maybe we wouldn't be in a war with Iran right now. It's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she helped build the MAGA movement. People might not want to admit that, but when all these other senators or politicians were looking back and saying, oh, well, you know what, I don't know. If I support Trump, then my voters might not vote for me. No, she was somebody that said, you know what, give me this hat. I'm going to put it on, and Trump, you have my support. And, it's crazy, but he's turning on everyone. Donald Trump is turning on everyone who supported him. Like, these are hardcore supporters. These aren't Democrats. And he's just turning on them left and right. And it's been a year into his presidency? So it doesn't make sense. I mean, right now, if it were me, I would tell them, these are people that you need to listen to. Like, these are folks that talk to people that aren't in Washington, D.C., and these are the people that talk to your ordinary citizens, and they're telling you certain things. And maybe you should listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe you should listen to, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly. It's just baffling to me. But again, it is what it is. But I just find it interesting how everyone can, sort of say something's wrong with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's trying to, mess the president up and sit up and, do all sorts of things when, she's been a MAGA supporter 100%. And she's someone who was a very reliable supporter of Trump and his policies. But, when you have a president that can't take some simple criticism about certain things, that's backward. That's like being friends with somebody, and when your friend says, oh, well, you know what, maybe you should do X, Y, and Z, and you're like, you have a bad attitude and you're losing your mind and going all crazy, when your friend is maybe telling you, you know what, maybe you need to lose weight so you'll be healthier or something like that. Like, I just don't understand it, and it just goes to show you how Trump is messing up the Republican Party, and he's destroying the MAGA movement. And so, it's bad. It's weird to me. It's weird that, a guy who had such support early on in 2024 and how, he said he was going to be different is turning into just another version of George W. Bush. A George W. Bush basically that has, more charisma, but Donald Trump has done a 360. It's insane that he's done it this early in his presidency. Like, I don't understand it, but, it is what it is.